Vanessa.
And I'm Andrea. Welcome to Systemorph IFRS17 Education Series Episode 2, which is about contract valuation, not in theory, but in practice.
In our last episode, we provided an overview of insurance contract cash flows over time. And we also showed the analysis of change in present values in a reporting period. So make sure you watch that one, and you can do so by clicking the link that's appearing now on your screen. What are we going to be talking about today, Andrea?
Yes, in this episode we will explore how the calculation of the present values can be made easy with the Systemorph Cloud.
Sounds interesting. How shall we get started?
We can start by looking at the import cash flow file that we're going to process.
Let's jump in.
Let's go. So this is the example file I have prepared. This regards the cash flows for the entire group for the 2021 first quarter. And here we see the nominal cash flows. They all refer to the same group of insurance contracts marked as GIC1. Then I added just claims and premiums that we see in the column amount type. And all these cash flows are differentiated because of the analysis of change steps. Starting from beginning of period, BOP, we have a assumption update and an experience variance, and CL stands for combined liabilities. In order to differentiate between so-called new business N from the in-force business, we use the novelty column. New business represents cash flows that refer to contracts that have been acquired during this quarter. C stands for combined, and this is the sum of in-force and new business. On the right, we see the cash flow arrays. The convention I adopted wants the claims to be positive as they are outgoing, and the premiums which are incoming are negative.
Looking here at the amount type column, we see claims and premiums, but shouldn't there be other categories included which are part of the usual business, something like expenses, for example?
Oh yes, this example I prepared is certainly oversimplified, but it is important to emphasize that you can certainly add your favorite categories. For example, also the analysis of change steps are entirely customizable, and you can incorporate those that you like the most. And additionally, not all amount types and AOC steps need to be present in the file for every quarter that you are processing.
So, Andrea, it looks like a lot of customization is possible in the spreadsheet data.
Oh yes, that is true. And this is essential for an insurance company that wants to stay IFRS 17 compliant for more than one run, namely more than one quarter. We have seen from the spreadsheet that you can incorporate your favorite analysis of change steps, but also that the amount types and novelties don't need to be the same among different quarters, different periods. And this very flexible input file needs to be anyhow processed. And if you were to do so within a spreadsheet, you would need rather technical functions such as offsets and VLOOKUPs. And this is where the solution would be not readable, nor maintainable, and where the cost of scalability will rise.
Mm-hmm. So does that mean because the spreadsheet needs to be so highly customizable that the calculation that you're about to show me and our viewers out there, is this as complex?
Well, I think it's quite the opposite. I think we can look at it and let's say you can let me know later what you think.
We can work with that.
Great. Let's then jump in the Systemorph Cloud Notebook where the solution is provided.
Okay, but maybe before we go there, please give us a little insight. What is the Systemorph Cloud Notebook?
In simple terms, a notebook is similar to a text document because it allows you to mix, as we see here, prose text, also pictures, And this little flowchart I prepared to explain the few steps required to compute the present values. Of course, it also gives you the possibility to have code cells, and this makes it the perfect development environment where complex computation can be tackled efficiently.
Given that we can mix various things here, such as pictures and text, so on, does that mean I don't need to be a professional in coding to use the notebook?
Not at all. In fact, IFRS17 Systemorph Calculation Engine gives you all the benefits of having such a comprehensive development environment without much complexity. You will see that the code is really readable. And in fact, this first code cell is about importing the IFRS17 calculation engine as is. The second one is about importing the initialization data, such as analysis of change steps and group of contracts, those that we have seen in the cash flow file. And then we can move on to the first section, where we encounter yet other two imports. One for the yield curve, the assumed yield curve for the current period, and the other one is just the cash flow file that we have investigated before. So now I'm running both these cells. And here is it, the status is succeeded for both, meaning everything went good. And we are now in a position already to look at the present value. And to do this, I created a new cell in which I'm going to retrieve the present values and store it to a variable. Here is it, from IFRS 17, I take the present value. Now I have them in the PV variable, and with the aid of the reporting tool, we can produce a table. And voila, here's it. The present values are listed according to the analysis of change steps, and the columns, in the columns we slice by amount type. In a sense, we have premiums and claims.
That was indeed extremely quick. Are you telling me that the raw cash flows in the spreadsheet have already been fully processed?
Oh yes, all needed operations have been performed, and now we can already study the change of the present value with respect to the correct analysis of change sequence. From the opening balance, we see the delta for the expected cash flow, the delta for the interest accretion, all the way down to the closing balance.
Okay, so looking at this table here, could we also see the total present value?
Of course, this takes one more click to aggregate premiums and claims and have a look at the total present value. This, from the opening balance all the way down to the closing balance, is negative, and this is a very good indication that the portfolio of contracts is likely to be profitable.
That's great that we can see that. I mean, IFRS 17 is really all about this process, identifying where losses come from and how to construct a solid portfolio. So is there a way that we can now break down the calculation that you just showed us?
Yes, I'm keen to do that. Let's step back to the imported data then. Systemorph Cloud technology excels in analyzing importing data on the fly. We can produce a plot with the assumed discount rates in order to analyze them for each different currency. And we can also represent the nominal cash flow with a bar chart. Here is it.
Okay, so I'm seeing that premiums are happening, it feels like, based on these numbers, on a quarterly basis and claims monthly, but in any case, one is more frequent than the other.
Exactly. The premiums, as you correctly noticed, happens quarterly, and the claims is monthly. Also, we see that this is the nominal cash flow that we have imported, and these are all ground up amounts, which means they represent the total amount and not the delta, that is the quantity that we report in the present value table shown above. Most important thing to remember is that this quantity are handled through the so-called data cube.
Would you mind elaborating about data cube, please?
Yeah, sure. Data cubes are the essential ingredients in the Systemorph kitchen, as they automatically handle all the complexity related to the different dimensions through which you have categorized your data. In this case, the nominal data cube is categorized based on the amount type, premiums and claims, but also on the analysis of change steps. And this data cube makes all arithmetic operations, aggregations and splits very intuitive.
How exactly can we use them to calculate the present values?
So the first step is to learn how to apply the discounting method and to accumulate the cash flow array in order to take into account the time value of money. As a preliminary steps, I retrieve the amount types and the discount rates. Then we see the notebook gives us the possibility to have nice formulas to understand how the computation of the discounting formula is implemented. And this we learned in the episode 1 in theory, but now in practice, here we decided to have a look at two analysis of change steps, the assumption update here and the experience variance. We take from the nominal data cube only the premiums, and we separate out all the other steps so that in this code cell we retrieve premiums for the assumption update only, and in this other code cell we retrieve the premiums for the experience variance only. Then with the aid of the standard method provided by the calculation engine, which is called compute, discount and accumulate, we can compute the present value for the assumption update ground up amount using the discounted rates and the amount types. This is done instantaneously. And yes, now we are in a position to evaluate the delta, that is the quantity that we show in the report above. The delta is effectively the difference between these two quantities. And since we look at the first quarter, the number for the current month is 3. Here is 1913. Let's scroll little bit up to the report. Expand again the view because we filtered out the claims, so we are interested in the premiums. And here is it for the experience variance. The delta is 1913.
Yes, indeed, it's a match.
And this shows independently how the calculation is performed to verify the correctness.
And there you have it, folks. We have now just seen how the present value can be computed using Systemorph's technology and how data cubes can simplify data modeling and operations. Thank you, Andrea, for that very insightful conversation and demo.
You're welcome, Vanessa.
We hope that everybody out there enjoyed it as well. Please like and share if you did.
And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to add them in the comments below. Also, if you're keen to see any other topic about IFRS 17, let us know and we will get back to you as soon as we can.
And make sure to subscribe to the channel. We will be back with a follow-up episode where we show you how you can configure the Systemorph Calculation Engine for your own business data set and needs. So tune in again soon. Thanks for watching.
And bye for now.
Bye-bye.